What's up, fight fans? J.COTTO. Welcome to J.COTTO's fight page. And yeah, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a little series called Late Night Boxing Talk with you guys. And we gonna talk some boxing. Earlier I made a video on Lundy Crawford. What was it? Lundy Crawford and Thurman Porter. I already gave you my insight on what I thought about that. And I don't know, man. I just feel that boxing is truly coming back slowly but surely. I mean, forget about everything else that's going on. Forget about everything else. It's all about the fighters and the way they throw in the hands, and that's what we're doing. Comparisons and all that shit can be done within debates, but as you can see, hashtag come back to boxing. It's all about boxing, baby. So, what's funny is where I'm from, New York City, Manhattan, you can be in Times Square, and let's just say if you have celebrity status, right? You have celebrity status. You can be anywhere in New York. And if you're a celebrity, you're going to get recognized, right? Right? How is it that Deontay Wilder did not get recognized walking down Times Square? I mean, to some of you guys, he's the greatest heavyweight ever. To some of you guys, he's the greatest heavyweight today. So explain this to me. How is it that no one recognized him? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's because he's the voluntary WBC champ. That's why. But I hope he proves himself to the point where he can destroy this Spilka dude, so that way he can try to get Povetkin. Because personally, I feel Povetkin's gonna beat the shit out of him. But if he can get Povetkin, then if he gets past Povetkin, then it's definitely I want to see Joshua Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of Joshua, I said it once, I'll say it again. I hope they do not give us a fucking Joshua White 2. I don't want to see that. I do not want to see that. I want more things for Victor Postol, man. I would like to see Crawford versus Postol. That's going to be a fight. That's going to be a fight that is going to be very intriguing, fight fans. Like Victor Postol versus Terence Crawford. Two great boxers. Yes, boxers. That'll be a great chess match. I want to see that. Shit, I would like to see Matisse get back on his fucking horse. He's not damaged goods at all. Also, will somebody explain this to me when it comes to Las Vegas teaming up with USADA on some new testing shit? Like, don't you guys think that this shit should have been done years ago, not now? Because, to tell you the truth, we don't really care, right? Like, we don't care anymore. It's like, it's way too late for us to care about that shit. You know what I mean? Finally, Amir Khan, you know what I'm saying? Amir Khan got a motherfucking match. Now, I hope he don't fucking walk away from it. I hope he don't walk away from the match just for trying to chase down a bigger name. Stay with this fucking fight. And I think it's going to be Lamont Peterson. You know what I mean? I would like to see that fight. Now, certain peoples are saying that Lamont Peterson, yeah, he was on roids. Okay, yeah, he was. But it doesn't mean just because he beat Danny Garcia the fuck up like we saw him, actually means that he was on something then too. You know what I mean? Especially if they both Heyman fighters. I don't think Heyman is going to let that happen. So, I guess the sole truth here is that Danny Garcia just got his ass kicked by a talented Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it happened. Shane Mosley got caught with that shit too. I mean, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Of course. See, this is why we're able to forgive them, though. The prize fighter from Vegas, though, He did everything he could to cover up his tracks. Okay, good move. Not smart, but good. It'll come out. But also, you know, Mr. Boxing today, and Blood Boxing, this is a question to you two guys. All right, it has to do with the heavyweight division. Do you think that Anthony Joshua, after two more fights, do you think he can actually handle Wilder, a Klitschko, or a Fury in two or three more fights? Do you guys think that? Blood Boxing and Mr. Boxing today, that question was for you guys. Please respond, because I really would like that, because I'm a little confused here, simply because White tested the chin, and Joshua passed with flying colors. But now what happens when the harder, heavier hitter, you know what I mean, more skilled hitter hits him? That's something interesting. Now, personally, I don't. Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley, that's gonna be like one of the final wars. Good wars in boxing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the first and second match, they were not boring at all. They were full of action. Timothy Bradley, the motherfucking man. The reason why this fight now, like, it really intrigues me, like, the reason why it pulled me in is because Teddy Atlas has had a lot of things to say about, he has had a lot of things to say about Manny Pacquiao, and it all stems down to Manny Pacquiao turning him down when he wanted to train Manny Pacquiao. Now, I really would love to see Manny Pacquiao beat the shit out of Timothy Bradley, so that way he can turn to Teddy Atlas and tell him, check my piss, check my blood. I beat this fighter fair and square. Your fighter, fair and square. And I beat him the first two times again. You know what I'm saying? Before. So, as well as Paulie the Yak Malignaggi going out there as well, talking all that shit about Pacquiao with no fucking proof. This is what gets me. This is what gets me about that whole Pacquiao and Mayweather situation. It was very double standard, as well as Floyd Mayweather Sr. saying that Pacquiao was on steroids or whatever, and then everybody with no proof ran with it. They all ran with it with no proof, and then all of a sudden, what happened? What happened after that? What happened after that? Got sued, right? They settled for slander, and now look, Thomas Hauser comes out. It was just a whole bunch of double standard. This is why I'm getting to this point. I want this to be Manny Pacquiao's last match. Bottom line, I do not want to see another Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see any of those fights. None whatsoever. I don't want to see him fighting anymore. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao fighting no more. Let this be the last fucking match that these two guys have. They could walk off into the sunset, and that's that. See, the reason why I'm upset is because these guys pulled off the biggest heist. These guys pulled off the biggest heist in boxing history. and they did it legally too. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, Oscar De La Hoya, I feel, with that 155 catch weight that he's trying to allow Canelo to do, I have a feeling that they're actually gonna cater to him, man. They're gonna cater to him. They're gonna cater to him. They're gonna give him what he wants. If Canelo and Gennady fight, they're gonna make Canelo the A side, which he shouldn't be. Which he shouldn't be. But it's gonna happen. I just see Oscar De La Hoya doing what the prize fighter from Vegas did to the boxing game and tried to do to the pay-per-view model. Tried to destroy it before he left. I feel that this is what Oscar De La Hoya is gonna try to do with Canelo. But the thing is that Oscar De La Hoya was was one of the pay-per-view kings. So I think the way he's gonna do it is a little more, how would you say, a little bit more cleaner. you know. Um, you also got shit going on with Chris Eubanks Jr. The Eddie Hearns as well over in the UK. They they had a 3 fight deal. Hearns and Eubanks. They had a 3 fight deal. After the 3 fight deal, they was gonna try to go for a strap. But now it's like Chris Eubanks Senior is fucking shit up for Junior as always, and just fucking deals up. And I just feel that Eubanks Jr. needs to step it up himself. He needs to step it up himself. He needs to talk to his dad and tell him, listen, Dad, this is the way I want to conduct business. You know what I mean? Same thing with Sean Porter's dad. He needs to do the same shit. You know, sometimes the fathers of the boxers need to just step aside a bit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to big important fights. Yeah, you can be there and back them up and talk with them and give them some advice and shit. But you calling the shots for the fight for him? Nah, I don't think that's for. I don't think that's for the father to do. The father would only act, and I repeat, the father would only act on emotion when it comes to stuff like that, like they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Angel Garcia needs to stop lying to Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? He needs to stop lying to him and telling him that, he's the best after fighting and then getting fucked up. Talking about, oh, Lamont didn't even touch Danny. But then if you look at Danny's face, I mean, what would you call that? So, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia has a lot of potential. I was a Danny Garcia fan, bro. But I stopped fucking with DSG because he went ahead and fought Soka. Then he went ahead and fought, and then he couldn't even come out and give Herrera the props. It's crazy. It's like, these guys know that these guys know that they lose, and they just don't. They just don't give the recognition. It is what it is, man. I mean, it takes a real man to say, listen, it was a good fight. I gave him my all, and even though you guys gave me the fight, I feel he won. Let's do it again. But it's basically politics. It's definitely politics. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I basically just wish that Danny Garcia starts taking harder fights, man. And at 147, there aren't going to be any get overs. They're not gonna be any get overs unless they're hired get overs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I personally want to see Danny Garcia do well, but this thing where you just fill up the ring just for the wins and just to keep the it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. You know, Felix Verdejo, great prospect. He's got to fight. He's gonna be on the the Terrence Crawford on the card, and I can't wait to see that kid again. That kid is the truth too. El Diamante, Felix Verdejo from Puerto Rico. That's that kid. He's got some shit on him, boy. He's gonna be beating the shit out of a lot of motherfuckers. Errol Spence Jr. Let's talk about it. I don't see Errol Spence Jr. losing this year. But if he fights the likes of Thurman, if he fights the likes of Thurman, the likes of even Badu, who gave Keith Thurman problems. You know, the thing with the prize fighter from Vegas pushing these young guys the way he's doing is very dangerous. See, very, very dangerous. And I just have to go out and say this. They will never, ever allow anyone to surpass Floyd or Marciano. Okay? It's not going to happen. At least if the power's in their hands, it's not going to happen. Now, you've got fighters out there that already have surpassed them, but the focus is off of them. See what I mean? So the 49-0 and all that other bullshit, the undefeated streak, has been done before. It's just who you keep the focus on. You know what I mean? And how they market you now. It's crazy. It's fucking disgusting. But it is what it is, right? That's why you got to keep it boxing. You only look at the hard-hitting competitors, man. Competitiveness. That's what it's all about, fight fans. Competitiveness. You know, and there are so many fighters out there that can accomplish and do so many things. But once again, since Al Heyman brings the casual model only understands the fights of today. They don't understand the fights of yesterday that are supposed to be going on like today. You know what I mean? Baseball was played yesterday. It's still played the way it was yesterday today. You know, that's just how I feel about it. It's just an opinion. You know what I mean? Also based with some facts, because boxing is just a traditional sport, man. It's a traditional sport, and it's a traditional sport between, you know, fathers, grandfathers, grandchildren, sons, uncles, brothers. You know, boxing is just a beautiful sport, and to tarnish it with any other thing other than the fighting camps, the promotions, the fighters, and the training, anything other than that is just tarnishing the sport. You know what I mean? You know, I respect today's fighters. I really do. I really do respect today's fighters. A lot of people mean to say you know, when they're talking footwork, you know, the evolved footwork, because the footwork from back then all the way now is evolved. But at the same time, some of these guys got it wrong, even guys that were champ. So this is why when we debate, we bring up great champs of yesteryear, of champs of today. And you can throw in evolved footwork and all that stuff. You know, it's just a fact that, foundation has to be respected. No matter who the fuck you are. A hoodlum, a rabbi, a Chinaman, Puerto Rican man, anybody, any person, any of you brothers and sisters out there of mine, any of y'all, any of us, boxing's for everybody, right? So, let's start looking at Shamings and Kamedas and, let's start looking at Golovkins and Glasgovs and Sergey Kovalevs, and let's start looking at Wards and, Broners and Petersons and Crawfords. Let's look at Herreras and Gonzalez's and, let's look at all the ethnicity. Let's look at it all. Let's look at every race. It is what it is, man. It's boxing. In that ring, the only thing that's different is the DNA, but the blood spills. The emotions run the same. It is what it is, man. It's boxing. A lot of you new guys like to disrespect historians like Bert Sugar. Bert Sugar was a bad motherfucker, and he's seen almost every fight. And a lot of people get butthurt, their Twinkies start shrinking and shit, so they get mad and they start ranting and raving on how Bert Sugar didn't know shit. But I guarantee you, across a debate table, Bert Sugar would eat you in less than 30 seconds. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? Guys gotta understand that boxing was here before certain boxers who claim that they're the best ever. Okay, has been here before the boxer who had the longest knockout, the longest knockout streak has delivered. Boxing has been there before that. You know what I'm saying? Gotta understand, man. This is where a lot of you guys got it confused. Okay. Boxing makes the athlete. The athlete doesn't make boxing. Okay? Gotta understand that. Any boxing fan, any hardcore boxing fan understands what I just said. Just like the clothes don't make the man makes the clothes. You know what I'm saying? Boxing makes the athlete, man. My point exact. Before any of the old school fighters wanted to put on gloves, they did it because they wanted to be idolized, because they wanted to be just like their idol. They wanted that legacy so bad. Yes, they are all prize fighters. Yes, they are. Okay. But they all put them fucking leathers on because they all wanted to be recognized, respected, and loved and become legend. It's too bad that certain boxers of today, the same as yesteryear, can't be talked about or debated on across debate forums or tables. And most of you guys that debate and put certain boxes against certain boxes are fucking wrong anyway. So, you know, it makes no difference, man. The whole thing is that boxing is coming back. The robberies gone. They're gonna go. I'm telling you, they're gonna go. Crooked ass judges, fucked up refs, promoters, managers. Everything that has stunk up the sport this year is definitely gonna be out the fucking door. Watch. They complain. Watch. Now, before I sign off, fight fans, I just want to tell you that this was a little talk that we had, a little boxing talk. You were supposed to be sitting right there. See that chair right here? See this chair? You're supposed to be sitting right here in this chair. It's a little dark out here in my backyard, but you're supposed to be sitting right here. I'm sitting right across you right here. You know what I'm saying? You guys are supposed to be sitting. So I'm actually, you know, saying, okay, they're sitting right on that chair right there. That's where they're sitting. They're sitting right there. You know, and it's just a little boxing chat with you. You know, I'm not saying anyone's wrong or right. It's just letting you guys know how I feel about boxing. I'm more than sure I've touched on a lot of topics that you guys wanted to touch on. That's why you fucks with me and I fucks with you guys. You know, it's just boxing, man. Just keep it boxing. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it boxing, man. Let's talk about these great fighters. Let's talk about these fighters that are going to become great. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's what we should do. We should all watch them become great. And then comment on how fucking great they are or how fucking whack they did it. But until then, you just need to chill the fuck out and keep it boxing. Otherwise than that, fight fans, I'm J.COTTO. Have a good night. Hashtag come back to boxing. God bless. Stay vigilant. Peace.